Greetings, everybody. Dr. Cooper here. I wanted to talk about artificial intelligence and student learning and education in this professional development series. And really what I want to talk about is not how to use AI. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of it, but I do want to kind of change your opinion of what AI means to student learning and to student education. Look at this number right here. As of February 2023, there were 100 million unique users using ChatGPT. That doesn't take into account all of the other AI platforms. That's a pretty hefty number. And really, if you look at this, over 30% of college students have used it for assignments. That is a pretty hefty number as well. It's one of the fastest growing applications ever created, and it's getting bigger every single day. Bottom line is, you must embrace that students will be using AI. You cannot banish it. I don't know how you could at this point. With over 100 million plus, and that was February. Who knows how many there are now? Probably in the 250 to 300 million. 30% of college students, how many high school students use it? It is here, and it is here to stay. So you need to stop asking yourself, how can I catch a student cheating using AI? And really ask yourself, how can I use AI as a tool in student learning, and how can I use it to enhance my teaching? That is really the bottom line question that we have to shift from trying to catch students using it, they're all using it, catch them all, or how do we embrace it? How do we use it to our advantage? And I'll just be honest with you right here, this entire presentation was created with AI. I created this whole thing using AI. It is one of the tools that is available to teachers very readily. There's a lot out there when it comes to teachers being able to use AI. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing education with personalized learning, intelligent tutoring systems, and grading automation. Just like everything else technology driven, it is up to the educator to go out and try and be on the cutting edge. Try and be one step ahead of the students. I think about this when in teaching history about questions. I can ask a question like, what are the causes of the Civil War? I can put that into AI and get a really nice paper. But what does that tell me about the student? I don't know. That's why I've been using, get this, AI to create questions that AI can't answer. Think about that. There's another avenue that you can use. Opinion questions cannot be answered by AI. Personal questions cannot be answered by AI. Just some examples of things that you can think about. AI is here. It's going to be able to assist students' personalized learning, grading, and feedback. It also can help teachers with administrative tasks, data analysis. Think of all the spreadsheets that you look at. Think of all the data you look at from students. And how can AI help you really go into that data and pick the things out that you need? When you think about feedback, individual feedback, AI can detect things that you can't see. They look at patterns that you can't look at. And I say they, it's actually a thing. But let's think about how it can find patterns that maybe you don't see in student learning. It's part of education. AI-powered learning can personalize education, provide real-time feedback, and assist teachers in creating effective lesson plans and assessments. I have already created many lessons when it comes to AI. As I said, this entire series is created with AI. Yes, I have to talk over it. Yes, I have to know the material. But look how fancy it is compared to doing a PowerPoint, and it didn't take me any time at all. So think about that when it comes to using AI. It is the future of education. If you do not embrace AI, you are going to find yourself left behind pretty quickly. And what that means is you're going to have to not only understand AI, you're going to have to look into what AI is, but also thinking about how you can use AI to the greatest advantage for yourself and how you can use AI to educate your students. They are using AI to learn. That's just the bottom line right now. They may be cheating, but they're using AI to learn. They learned how to use AI. That is a learning step. They may regurgitate a document spit out by AI on the causes of the Civil War. It is the same thing as looking it up. It just is written for them. So what are some of the things that, just thinking about it that way, what are some of the things that you can work with students on in order to get that material that they have found to be their own, to look at that material, to read that material, to look at their own. Think about it when it comes to learning and automatic tasks. Feedback, as I said, can be created real time, and it can learn students' abilities. It can individualize responses for each student and every student, something that you cannot think about. Personalized learning experience, I just talked about that. Education. Some of the examples of AI that are currently being used by universities and some schools around the state: intelligent tutoring systems, automated grading and feedback, personalized learning experiences, all three of those. Now, let me caution you right there. I am in no way, shape, or form saying AI is going to take the place of teaching. That is not true. That will never be true, because it does require a teacher to use the tool properly to educate the student. Okay? And I'll say that again. It is not going to replace the teacher. When it talks about automatic feedback, think about feedback to the student and how many hours you spend writing feedback. This will help you to make sure that your feedback is personalized to an individual student, or personalized for the individual assessment. Or it could continue to ask questions that you don't have the time to ask. So it will read a student's paper, give feedback, and say, well, what about this? And again, if you're designing the questions correctly and you're looking introspectively, AI is not going to be able to answer them. They're going to spit out some information, but it's not going to be able to answer on a personal basis. In fact, it's definitely not going to be able to answer on an individual basis. It enables personalized learning experiences, adaptive assessments, immediate feedback to improve student engagement and academic outcomes. Again, students that are not engaged, this is something that can help engage them. With AI, designers can anticipate and address the long tail of variations in how students can successfully learn. You can use AI to review students' papers to see how is this student learning? Where is this student getting the information from? And what is the best way to address how this individual student learns? AI-enabled education technology may be deployed to adapt to each student's English language abilities. Think about that. Do you have time to write a separate paper or a separate assignment for every single student in your class based on their language abilities? No, but AI does. All it takes is a little bit of information. And again, as I said, not going to replace the teachers. You must know your students. You must understand your students in order to get there. New forms of interaction. Students and teachers can speak, gesture, sketch, and use other natural human modes of communication to interact with computational resources and reach each other. AI can generate human-like responses as well. These new forms of action may provide support to students with disabilities. Get this. If you're using a Mac system, I have an advanced copy of Mac OS 17, which is the newest version of Mac. It'll be out in the fall. One of the things that it recognizes if you are on FaceTime is that it recognizes hand gestures, and it makes things in your background based on those hand gestures. It knows when you're cheering. It knows when you're sad. All of that will expand out exponentially. Think about that when it comes to teaching students one-on-one or even in a Zoom lesson. Having AI be able to recognize what you're talking about. Think about this. Students go off often. I go off on tangents. That's one of my trademarks. But students may ask me to go off on tangent about a subject, and no longer do I have to scramble and look for information and say, oh, well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. As I talk about it, AI can identify what I'm talking about and create a presentation on the spot. It can create information on the spot for students. It allows for faster and more accurate grading. It takes out that one piece of grading, which is knowing the student. It takes out that one piece of grading, which is maybe bias. It can identify patterns in student performance and provide personalized feedback. It can eliminate human bias in grading, which is what I just talked about. All of those things are part of assessment. AI can enhance feedback loops. It can increase the quality and quantity of feedback provided to teachers, as well as suggesting resources to advance teaching and learning. AI can support educators. Educators can be involved in designing AI-enabled tools to make their jobs better. and to enable them to be better and encourage students better. Think about this when it comes to AI. You're thinking to yourself, I don't know anything about computers. AI can design it for you. With the proper knowledge, with the proper programming, you can put into AI, create me a software program that does this, and it will create it for you. Think about that. You don't have to sit and go code and look up and all that. It will create for you. The sky is the limit on your imagination of what AI can do for you. It can help students learn better when paired with high quality learning and instructions. Students are going to look at videos. Students are going to go to TikTok to find answers. That just makes my stomach turn. But think about this. AI can detect problems that the naked eye can't see. And in some cases, automated essay scoring, teachers and students do not directly experience the benefits of the tool. Rather, state grades and the exams are faster and more efficient, and in some cases, teachers are directly beneficial to this. So think about this. As a student answers a question, AI can say, why are you answering that way? Where did you get that information? There is nothing in the book that says AI cannot ask questions as students are writing. Correct students as they are writing. Again, the sky is the limit if you think about this. Brian Brown, professor of education, said that what we know about learning is not reflected in how we teach. For example, teachers know that learning happens through powerful classroom discussions. However, only one student can speak at a time. But with AI and some proper usage, a teacher can communicate with 35 students at the same time and give each of them individual questions, can give each of them individual ideas. That is going to facilitate learning. It's adaptive. It's going to grow. Think about how technology adapts today. It's based on correct answers, right? So when we think about how, are you doing a good job? Yes, all your students got correct answers. That is not a way to adapt a program. AI can adapt to a student's learning process and give feedback based on individual answers, right or wrong. That is really where, when you think about the curriculum, if you have students that have wrong answers as well as right answers, AI can design curriculum around that, okay? AI-powered tutoring is also available. There are programs out there right now that are already doing AI tutoring for students. Again, if they're going to use this as a tool, let's teach them how to use this tool properly. Rather than just give me a paper, let's use this tool properly to help the students in adaptive learning. Teachers commonly encourage class participation by insisting there is no such thing as a stupid question. And I know you have all said that. However, it's not true. Well, the stupid question part's not true. But the fact that students feel comfortable asking questions, is not true. Generally, students that are behind will not ask questions. Generally, students that are shy or students that are not doing well will not ask questions. If you use an AI interface and constructive feedback, you don't have the same self-consciousness. If a student is asking a question to AI, just like they would with Google or any type of software they're using, there's no judgment in the answer. There's none. If you spell a word wrong in Google while you're looking it up, Google does not look at you. Google does not have a bunch of people in the classroom snickering because you didn't know how to spell the word. It corrects you. Okay? That is what AI has the ability to do. It's also valuable in soft skills. All of those small things like communication, critical thinking, problem solving, all of those things are a big part of AI. Okay? There are some ethical considerations when you talk about AI. Transparency, accountability, and privacy. You got to really think about this. Right now, this is a gray area. Who owns the product created by AI? Is it the company that created the AI software? There's still a lot of gray areas in there. And I venture to say that there will be a lot that will come out. But just like every other program, when it comes to education, educational institutions have greater license to do what they need to do as long as they're not making profit on it. Okay, just like using videos in your classroom, just like using things in your classroom. If you are not profiting from it, if it is not something that can be repeatable to the general public, you generally have a lot more leeway than anybody else. Now, I put a website in there that has examples of artificial intelligence in education. So I'm going to give you a leg up. There are some things in there that talk about programs that are available right now, things that are in there right now. And that is onlinedegrees.san diego.edu/artificial-intelligence/education. I couldn't shorten it anymore, but I'll leave it up there just for a second. In my parting words, I do want to remind you a couple things. Number one, don't be afraid of AI. Okay, embrace the tool because it is a tool that you can use. It is no different than what students have used for the past 20 years, other than it's much quicker and it has a lot more power. So embracing this now is going to be important. Understanding this now is going to be important. Think about when you're in the classroom and you do anything technology driven, and it's not something that's way below their level. It piques students' interest. It makes students excited. Think about trying to get students to create a document in AI, maybe a research in AI, something. As I said, I've even used AI to ask questions of students that AI can't answer. Think about that. There's your paradigm right there. All right, that is all I have. Hopefully you get some information from this website and it gives you some ideas and it sparks you to go to a Google search and say, what is AI? How can I use AI? All of that stuff will start showing up for you. It's problem solving 101. You're supposed to be good at it. Well, do the problem solving. There you go. That's all I have for this one, and I will talk to you soon.